CNN projects Donald Trump wins the presidency.
It's the Batshit.
I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words.
Crazy Pants.
It is time to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
Super Show.
But we are transferring power from Washington, D.C. and giving it back to you, the people.
Helping you navigate this batshit crazy pants world.
So I got a president who likes me now.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands?
Are you totally deranged?
And now, your bus driver, Matt Stevens.
Crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people.
Oh, hello and welcome to the Batshit Crazy Pants Super Show. I hope you're all having a great Friday. And that's what we do on Fridays now. If you were listening to this show as it was in its original inception, it has now been sort of broken up into other separate shows because I was just losing it and I needed to separate and do one thing in one show and one thing in another. So the Batshit Crazy Pants Super Show, which is what you're listening to now, by the way, I'm Matt Stevens. Thank you for listening. Is going to be our sort of end of the week Friday little fun fest where we go through and we find the craziest things that were not said by Sean Spicer or Donald Trump during the week. All the other people, anybody's up for it. Now, there's tons of stuff to choose from. A lot of what I choose is I love to listen to Christians and conservatives and really crazy people just sort of dig themselves into holes. And so we do a lot of that. So that's what Friday's going to be. Now, if you want to listen on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you can do that. Monday is going to be You're Wrong, which is taking sort of social norms like snitches get stitches or death penalty, things that we've sort of accepted, and telling you why if you believe in these things and if you live by them, you're wrong. So we do that. Tuesday is going to be Pessimistic Politics, which will be the political show. That's where we're talking about Trump and Spicer and all the nonsense that happens there and how they're trying to screw you and trying to sort of make it so the rich get richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And then finally, if you like sports, we do that on Wednesday, and that is the baseball football show. Now, let's get started. Because as we start every Batshit Crazy Pants Super Show, we started with this.
Hail Trump!
Oh, one more time. Just because it's Friday.
Hail Trump!
It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. HBO's been playing that before we get to the sound, and we'll get to it in a second. HBO's been playing that, and thank you, HBO. Because when you don't see a movie for a long time, sometimes you forget how good it is. And Friday is that movie. I hadn't seen it in probably, 10 years maybe. And so damn funny. So funny. Oh, fantastic. Anyway, and as always, because we do this a lot, I do curse. I apologize. If you have kids, remember, this is the one rule I can tell you. If you're going to play me around kids.
Earmuffs.
One more time, just cuz.
Earmuffs.
Oh, there we go. We begin tonight. I mean, there's so many places to begin, right? It's kind of amazing. So we begin tonight with the idea that, not the idea, the actual fact, however you want to put it, that Bill O'Reilly is no longer in his job. He's been fired. He's been fired. And he was fired for sexual harassment. Not the sexual harassment part. The hallelujah is not for the part that he did the things that were very gross and disgusting. The hallelujah is for the fact that he finally lost his fucking job because of it. One more time, because. So, Bill O'Reilly loses his job. And of course, it starts to snowball, right? Because the crazy misogynistic ass bags that sort of run right-wing radio are all of a sudden very worried now, right? Because if Bill O'Reilly could lose his job, then we could lose our jobs too. I mean, Rush Limbaugh is shaking in his boots. His fifth wife is sitting over there somewhere. Might be 4. Maybe it's 5. Who knows? But the fact that there were at least 4 women that would have married that guy makes me really sad, and pray for nuclear holocaust in 5 seconds. Thank you, Bill Hicks. We start with one of my favorite new people. You know, there are so many of these people in the echo chamber on the left side, and there's tons of us on the on the right side. There's tons of us on the left as well, but these guys, there's so many of them, that they all sound the same after a while because they're usually old white guys from the South who talk real slow like this, and you're going to hear it from Rick Joyner and Rick Wiles. You're going to hear from these guys, right? And then we get Jesse Lee Peterson, who happens to be a black. Now, I don't care that he's black. It just adds to the awesomeness, right? It just adds to the sort of comedy that this poor man is going through in some weird way. This is almost like this guy is a live-action Dave Chappelle sketch, right? He's the blind KKK guy. So we have Jesse Lee Peterson. He's also a radio host because all misogynistic radio pastors end up doing radio shows, and so he's. Let's just listen, shall we? Well, let's just listen to what Mr. Jesse has to say.
So apparently Bill O'Reilly's out, and I have to tell you, if they can get rid of Bill O'Reilly, they can get rid of anyone.
Now, first, doesn't he sound like the kid from Breaking Bad? I'm just saying. Just listen.
This is another modern-day lynching. This is a modern-day lynching.
This is a black guy, folks, so you can lose your mind, but remember, this is a black guy saying that this is a modern-day lynching. Because apparently, lynching back in the day used to be the removing of black guys from high-profile positions because of the way they treated women. It wasn't like stringing them up and hanging them and burning crosses in their front yard. It wasn't any of that stuff. So, here we go.
Of a straight, Christian, conservative, white male of power. That's all this is about, folks. White males with power, are under attack.
Yes, we are. But do you want to know why we're under attack, Mr. Jesse Lee Peterson? It's because they're bad people. If they were white guys who were good people, this wouldn't be happening. But they're bad people. Bad.
The straight white male of power is the only thing that's keeping the country hanging on.
So, to be clear, people like Bill O'Reilly, this guy has been beaten so down in his life. Look, anybody can have any belief that they want, right? They just can. When I see somebody like this, or when I see a woman who votes for Donald Trump, and I see these people, all I can think of is Stockholm Syndrome. Like, this guy has been beaten down so much in his life, not physically, but mentally, and that he believes it, that white people are the saviors. The rich white man is the savior of us all. And Bill O'Reilly is the symbol of that, right? Successful, white, very rich, a lot of power, a lot of say, likes to make shit up on the spot, and then the next day say he didn't say it or that it was fact. You know, this guy buys it. I don't even buy it. This guy buys it.
You get rid of them, it's over. And that's what the children of the lie are working desperately trying to do.
The children of the lie. I don't know what that means. I tried to Google it. I think a band came up. So, Jesse Peterson thinks that this is the beginning of the end of the straight, white, powerful man. Because guys like Donald Trump and Bill O'Reilly are under attack because they're such great men. They're under attack and they shouldn't be. I mean, it's ludicrous, right? I mean, there's really no other word for it. But the thing that scares you is that this guy bought in. And this is the thing that you have to worry about in times like this because these people buy into that crap. See, I listen to that and I think this guy is fucking nuts. Like batshit loony pants nuts. I'm not even crazy. Loony, okay? Because the idea that here's the thing, guys. Remember, white guys ruined it. Rich old white guys have ruined it for themselves. This wasn't. You're not acting like great people and are coming under fire for being white or rich or powerful. You're coming under fire because you're doing bad things to people. Touching women, saying things to women that are inappropriate in any way, shape, and form. Or what they deem inappropriate. If they deem it inappropriate, then that's what it is. It's inappropriate. But you don't get it. That's the problem. You don't get it. And so you guys think that these guys are coming under fire because they're rich white men. That it could be further from the truth. If these guys were all stand-up guys, one wife, and you can have multiple wives, I don't care. But the what you guys preach and live by, you would have one wife, a couple kids, and you would basically be Mitt Romney without destroying all the companies and sending jobs overseas. Okay? The good part of Mitt Romney, not the terrible part of Mitt Romney. I know the good part's very small, but just focus on that for a second. But that's the point. You're not under fire because you're rich white. You're under fire because you're bad people. But listen, there are other reasons, right? Because every single one of these people, like I got to play an entire show of just people coming in saying why Bill O'Reilly got fired from Fox. But we're going to play one more, and then we're going to read you some tweets from Michael Reagan, son of former President Ronald Reagan, which are pretty freaking. It's good. But anyway, so we're going to go next to Theodore Shabbat. His last name is spelled Shoebat. I'm going to pronounce it that way because he calls himself a Muslim, so I'm assuming it's Shabbat, but I don't know. Could be Shubat. I don't know. He thinks, let's let him tell you because really he says it so much better.
Bill O'Reilly, he got fired from Fox News because he got booted out of Fox News, whatever term you want to use, because supposedly he was sexually harassing women. I don't buy that bullshit. I don't buy it for a second. I think that is simply a reason. It's an excuse to get rid of him. It's really a pretext.
Okay, so where we're starting is this guy doesn't even believe. You see, and there's the other thing. So they'll believe anything they're told. This guy doesn't believe that Bill O'Reilly sexually harasses women at all. Now, if what your idea of sexual harassment is, I guess would define whether or not you thought he did it. I would know he did it because I've heard audio cassettes of him doing it over the phone to a woman. You can get them. They are awesome. Okay? He got sued many years ago for this, back when we didn't care about sexual harassment. Remember that time when we didn't care about sexual harassment? It was like 10 years ago. I mean, I always cared. They didn't care. So this guy believes, first of all, so he's coming from a place of there's no way that Bill O'Reilly could have sexual harassed these women. So there has to be some other, more logical explanation for why Bill O'Reilly got fired from Fox. And here it is.
To get rid of Bill O'Reilly. I don't think that they just felt so bad for these women. I doubt Bill O'Reilly sexually harassed anybody. When I first heard about the reports last night that they were possibly going to get rid of Bill O'Reilly, I just want to say that I did suspect a conspiracy. I know, I'm Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern people find a conspiracy in everything.
No, just crazy people.
I did indeed find a conspiracy. And my suspicion, and I'm still holding on to this suspicion, my suspicion is that the reason why they're getting rid of Bill O'Reilly is because they want to get rid of all the old cats in the news business in Fox News. They want to get rid of all the old cats and replace them with people who are more pro-homosexual. They're explicitly pro-homosexual. They're pro-perversion. And they are also, they could be, that is, closet Nazis.
Okay. Because those two things can't be the same thing. You can't be pro-gay and a closet Nazi. You can't be that. Because the Nazis treated the gays like they treated the Jews. You can't be both. That's the first thing, okay? Oh, man. We're just gonna go back because it's too good. It's too
They're getting rid of Bill O'Reilly is because they want to get rid of all the old cats in the news business. They want to get rid of all the old cats and replace them with people who are
gay,
more pro-homosexual. They're explicitly pro-homosexual. They're pro-perversion, and they are also, they could be, that is, closet Nazis.
No, they can't. No, they fucking can't. They can't be the same thing. They can't be the same thing. But I just love pro-homosexual, pro-perversion. Fox News is firing Bill O'Reilly, one of the most perverted fucking guys in the world. Okay? One of the most perverted people in the world. And this guy saying they fired him because he didn't do sexual harassment, but because they wanted to bring guys in that were more pro-perversion. And this guy probably has like 1 million followers, you know? And they're all sitting at their places going, oh, yeah, man, totally, yeah. I mean, shit. You know, Bill O'Reilly didn't do anything to those women. They were asking for it. It was the clothes they were wearing, you know? They would wear those short skirts, and they'd want to move up the corporate ladder. So Bill O'Reilly, you know, he let them climb the corporate ladder. Yeah, totally, man, totally. I mean, you can hear it. You can hear it. I just the last part, just one more, just one more
time. They're pro-perversion, and they are also, they could be, that is, closet Nazis.
Closet Nazis. I'm gonna write a song called "Closet Nazis" that are active. So these people are out homosexually, but secretly hate Jewish people. And want the whole world to be gay? Like the Germans want it all to be. So, man, that's a web of nonsense that even I can't untangle. And I'm pretty good at untangling the nonsense. Now we move on to Ronald Reagan. Sorry, a little bit of a senility there. Sorry, that's not funny. Shouldn't make fun of that. But I don't care. The guy was fucking senile for his second term, and nobody will ever convince me otherwise. And yes, that's a conspiracy theory, and I don't care, because there's no way that he got freaking Alzheimer's the day he freaking left office. There is no way. Anyway, I digress. On to Michael Reagan, okay? Michael Reagan, who is, if you've never heard him, he's on Fox. He's a conservative commentator. You know, they should just put gas bag, right? For all of us. I'm a gas bag. I just happen to be on the side of truth and honesty and right, okay? But I'm no less a gas bag than these other guys. They just happen to be falsified jackwagons who would rather lie to you than tell you the truth, because the truth would cost them in their power and money. See, I don't care about power and money. That's why I say the truth and they lie. Get it? But we're all gas bags. Michael Reagan, in his response, he blamed women, like I just did. Not me, the guy I was playing. If women are going to wear this is a tweet, by the way, and you can follow him at Reagan World, which I'm sure is literally the worst world ever. If women are going to wear low-cut dresses that show cleavage, don't be harassed when men look. Or should we sue for sexual arousal? Oh, man, they're going to love that one at the country club. And then he said, hot chocolate, because O'Reilly apparently called a black woman hot chocolate, which is derogatory. Like, there's literally no other way to look at that than derogatory. It's derogatory. The fact that you can't see that and your dad was president literally makes me weep for everything I've ever thought about this country, okay? Anyway, hot chocolate used to be a compliment on your looks. Today, it's called sexual harassment. Okay, Michael, a word if I could, because I you know, I hear you, and I'm just very sad for you, okay? Because you don't really understand things. And so I want us to sit down and we're going to have a little talk about boys and girls and how you're supposed to behave around them. Because it worries me, Michael, that you grew up in the White House. Your mother was apparently a wonderful woman. She always represented herself very well and never seemed like the type that would take sort of another woman being called hot chocolate as a compliment. And so I'm worried that you've fallen under bad influences since your father passed and then your mother passed. And so I want to tell you this. At no point in human fucking history has the term hot chocolate ever been a compliment to any black woman in the world. And so, as I sit here and try to tell you about the birds and the bees, I want you to just understand that fact, okay? When you are addressing a black woman, you could call her miss or ma'am or find out her name and call her that. That's always a good way to start talking to women. I find, anyway, to say, hello, I'm Matt. How are you today? And that may seem simple, but I can guarantee you that my way will simply just get you a polite, no thank you, I'm not interested. Whereas your way will get you slapped. So, Michael, remember this. Now that your father's not with us anymore, I want you to tear down those walls, man. Tear them down. And understand that hot chocolate has never, in the history of the fucking world, been a compliment to any black woman anywhere. Now go back to sleep, you moron. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom... Oh, that was me. That wasn't the actual thing. So, we're done with Bill O'Reilly, because why wouldn't we? Let's move on to more political Trump-related things. Now, again, this is not Donald Trump. You will not be hearing his voice, except in the open. I play him in the open because he's the puppet master that controls all these idiot minions, and they literally just spew his words. We will get to mini-Trump in a little bit. That's Wayne Allen Root. But first... we're going to start with right-wing pastor. And again, I'm saying the word pastor. And the reason that I like to use these people is because the hypocrisy of what they speak and what they should be speaking and what they espouse to be is hysterical to me. And it makes me happy to expose them for what they are, which is hypocritical gas bags using religion to sort of further their life and their money and their well-being. So Rick Joyner steps in, and if you've never seen Rick Joyner, he sort of looks like Wilford Brimley with Wilford Brimley, yes, the old Quaker Oats dude, okay, but with aviator sunglasses, all right. So think like you know, just think about it. It's terrible. But he usually does some Facebook posts, and he decided to comment on the wall and point out the hypocrisy of the left because of the wall. Let's give Rick a listen.
And then look at the outrage that has risen from them when we stop some Muslim immigration. Listen, try to immigrate as a Christian to one of those Muslim countries. Matter of fact, you can try to immigrate as a Muslim. They won't let you in. They don't let in outsiders.
See, but that's the difference, Rick, and that's the problem, and this is where you guys always miss the point. And again, we'll get to the nonsense in a second, even though that's total nonsense. But here's the thing. Those countries don't do that, but that's why we're different. Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. We are a place where immigrants go to find a better life. That's the fucking point. Okay? And if you don't get it, if you don't understand it, then maybe you should leave. Because that's the thing, guys. We are an open border country. We are a place of refuge. We are a place where freedom should ring for everybody. It shouldn't matter religion, race, creed, sexual orientation. It doesn't matter. That's what differentiates us from them. We have empathy. As a country, we should have empathy. And you want to take that away because you're afraid of nothing. You're afraid of nothing. More people have been killed by Christians than by terrorists. Well, Islamic terrorists, because the Christians that are doing the killing are terrorists, and I apologize for doing that. More people have been killed by Christian terrorists in this country and homegrown terrorists in this country than outside Muslim terrorists. So let's continue, Rick, through your down the rabbit hole of bullshit you're about to tell me.
You know, with all this grief that Mexico's been giving us about our immigration, putting up the wall and everything, they put up their own wall along their southern border, try to immigrate to Mexico right now. I mean, this is such unbelievable hypocrisy. And yet the left, they either are totally blind to the most blatant hypocrisy in my lifetime, or they don't care. They don't consider it hypocrisy as long as it agrees with them politically. I don't know this is madness.
So the hypocrisy is this, okay? Because Mexico doesn't allow immigration and they put a wall on their southern border, then we shouldn't allow immigration from Mexico and that's hypocritical that Democrats aren't saying that. This is the greatest hypocrisy of his life, guys, of his life that he's ever heard. The greatest hypocrisy is Democrats not giving a rat's ass about what Mexico does with their immigration policy while caring about what we do with ours. The greatest hypocrisy ever. The greatest hypocrisy ever. The greatest hypocrisy ever. That's his plea for the wall. Well, Mexico has a wall, so when did we start doing everything that other countries do? When did we want to start being like other countries? When did we want to start doing that? When did that happen? Did I miss a fucking meeting? When did we start want to being other countries? Why do we want to be like Mexico or Islamic countries that you hate? Why would you want to be like them and not be inclusive and not have people come here? Why? We used to be America. We used to be something that was ourselves, and we didn't give a fucking shit what anybody thought about us. And yes, that was not good all the time. Trust me. It was not. I'm not saying it's a good thing to always be like that. But we never cared about what other countries did and try to mimic those countries. And that's what these guys want to do, guys. That's what they're doing. All of your America, you're just trying to make us like everybody else. We should be the light. We should be the beacon of hope that the world looks to for freedom and equality. That's what we are supposed to be. That's what we were started as. That's what we were. That's what the founding fathers wanted. But no, Rick Joyner, Donald Trump wants us to be like Russia. Rick Joyner wants us to be like Mexico and like Muslim countries when it comes to immigration. It's funny, they never want to mimic, any of the Scandinavian countries. They want to mimic all the countries that have dictatorships and have ruled by power and wealth. They never want to mimic the countries that share the wealth. Did you ever notice that? They want to be like China. They want to be like all those India. They want to be like those, but they never want to be like the Netherlands. Those are terrorist countries. Socialism. Arr, arr, arr. So, Rick, you continue to want to be like Mexico and like Iran or Iraq, and I'll continue to be a fucking American. How about that? How does that sound? Does that sound good for you? Good. You fucking Wilford Brimley-looking motherfucker. Okay. So, this is great. I mean, you just gotta love it because there are people that are awesome, like the pastors who preach hate while being a pastor, and there are people that are just spectacular. Okay, like Rick Joyner's awesome, right? But in sort of a horrible way. He's like Grease 2 awesome. You know what I mean? But Rick Wiles is awesome in an amazing way, like Point Break awesome or Red Dawn awesome. I mean, can't you just picture it? Can't you just picture it? Rick Wiles standing there on a hill with a gun raised over his head. Wolverine! Yeah! So Rick Wiles. Oh, we're not going to listen to all this, although it is all awesome, but it's 4 minutes. And he's just I mean,
Going back to President Trump, perfect opportunity for President Trump to talk about Islamic terrorism, why we need to lock down the borders, keep the Muslims from coming in. Have you noticed that he doesn't talk about it anymore?
Yeah, he sent out a number of tweets yesterday about the Democratic primary in Georgia.
But
was there any tweets about this? Now, before everybody starts writing, all we're doing is we're asking the question here.
I'm not sure he's sending out the tweets.
Got his Twitter privileges taken away, you think?
I think more than his Twitter privileges.
Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is what I think. I think Donald Trump is under house arrest by the deep state. I think they put him under house arrest. He's changed. He doesn't even act the same anymore. He doesn't behave the same. He's not the man that we elected. Something's happened to him. Do you see him signing executive orders, banning illegal immigrants coming in and holding the executive order up to the cameras? Do you see him just being himself?
Yeah.
It's all stopped, hasn't it? In the past 2 weeks, it's stopped.
Okay, to be fair, Trump did try to do that, and the court stopped him. So he just maybe he learned something. See, that's the thing these guys don't understand. They don't learn anything, and when they do learn something, they ignore it and don't ever change. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's just so funny. It's just so funny. He's under house arrest by the deep state goon squad. I don't know what the fuck a deep state goon squad is, but it sounds awesome. I assume he means liberals. I assume he means progressives. I assume he means democratic socialists. I assume he means that. Or he's talking about Congress. Maybe Congress is the deep state goon squad. But that name is too menacing for Congress. Congress would be more like the We Never Work with Free Healthcare squad. Something like that. Maybe something catchy like that. Like, 140 days full benefits squad. Something fun. We'll spitball about it later. So who the hell knows what this guy's talking about? But these guys are serious. They literally, like Rick Wiles literally is on his show every day, okay? And he just makes stuff up. Now, do I think he thinks he's telling the truth? I kind of do. Because he talks about it with such vigor, unless he's like literally like the Meryl Streep of talk radio, like the Orson Welles, right? Orson Welles got all these people to believe that aliens were attacking us. So maybe he's the Orson Welles of radio, and he's just fucking pulling all our legs. But there's no way it's true. Guys, I'll tell you what happened to Donald Trump. He realized, well, not really. He kind of realized that he might have to start acting like an adult, and being a complete bloviated jackwagon's not going to get the job done, because there are other people involved who don't answer to you and don't care about you and don't want the same things you want. It's not Trump Corp anymore, guys. It's not saying, hey, if you don't do that, you're fired. You have to answer to people.
His behavior is different.
Just look at any of the speeches that you see him, or any of the conferences he's speaking at. He's not the same passionate Donald Trump
Teleprompter
that he was even a month ago.
I think the shadow government said to him, you were not supposed to win, but you did. But we're going to allow you to stay in the White House under our terms. And here are the terms.
The shadow government.
And I honestly believe the man is under house arrest. I believe that they've locked him down. They have isolated him.
Okay, so even if this is true, right, even if we are to believe that Donald Trump has been placed under, quote, house arrest by the deep state goon squad or the shadow government or whatever you want to say, you're telling me that the only people he can get word to is Rick Wiles, a person no one's going to believe? Is that where the game of telephone ends? He doesn't have anybody else? Fox News isn't reporting this. Like he watches Fox News like it's like I watch baseball. Like I mean, it's unbelievable. So he's trying. It's so great. I mean, it's great because he really believes it. He really believes that there are people who are now controlling Trump's every move, and he's not allowed to do anything.
And he has been surrounded by the deep state goon squad, and they are making the decisions.
Yeah.
And he's got to go along with it. He's got to sign the documents. But he's just a figurehead. I do not believe he is the president of the United States anymore. I believe he's a figurehead. Yeah.
Did you hear that Jason Chavez today decided he's not going to run for re-election?
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Now, he was saying that it was because he wanted to honor his own rules that he has set for term limits. But who knows?
Listen, we're
Oh, no, it can't be that fucking logical answer. It's got to be some fucking crazy answer that makes no sense. Instead of literally thinking that, hey, here's a guy who actually has convictions and is willing to stick to them. It can't be that. It's got to be some batshit crazy reason. Here it goes.
They're taking out
one by one.
One by one.
One by
Bill
one.
O'Reilly fell today. Regardless of what you feel about him, he was.
So Chavez is falling under the same thing. Now, that's what we're going to do with Rick Wiles. The real thing I want to talk about was the Trump under house arrest. It made me laugh. And then we got to the Chavez thing, which made me laugh as well. Actually, the whole thing makes you laugh, but sometimes you want to cry, and that makes it worse. So Chavez is being taken out by the same people who took out Trump, right? Who took out Trump on the knees and said, you can stay in power. So we have the power to take you out of power, but we're going to let you stay in power. You just got to do what we want. I mean, like, do you see the problem with conspiracy theories is that when you actually talk them out, they fall apart within seconds. Okay, when you actually talk them out, they fall apart very simply. You're trying to tell me. It's one of the problems I have with the Kennedy assassination. It's one of the problems I have with the moon landing conspiracies, and it always comes down to this: when you're talking about conspiracies, you are counting on that many people to keep quiet. However many people are involved, and you're probably talking about hundreds of people being involved, you're counting on every single one of them to be quiet. In a world where we can't keep anything quiet. So, and they'll tell you, well, we're the ones talking about it. I'm like, no, but you're the ones making it up. There's a difference. It's not being taught. And then, oh, the mainstream media is against us. Well, yes, you can explain away everything. I can explain away everything too. But that doesn't mean it's actually happening. Is it happening in certain places? Yes, of course. But it's not happening everywhere. And it's not happening to that extent. So no, the president is not under house arrest. And maybe Chavez is just a guy who has this principle that he wants to stick by, and he thinks that Congress should have term limits. And he's like, well, I'm going to impose those term limits on myself voluntarily. God forbid there's somebody in Congress who has the courage of their own convictions. We might all die of a heart attack. That a person might actually come through and do something they promised that they were going to try and do. God forbid. And now it's time, folks. It's time for everyone's favorite wackadoodle, the one and only mini Trump, conspiracy theorist, general moron, idiot, fucktard, Wayne Allen Root. And Wayne Allen is, man, he's on fire, okay? Trump actually won, okay? He's coming to Trump's, and when you listen to him, it's like he's trying to be Donald Trump. Just listen to what Wayne has to say. Now, he talks fast. This guy's a used car salesman, if you've ever seen one, right? He's an absolute used car salesman. So here's Wayne Allen Root, just sort of being a general ass bag.
liberals have only one argument. They keep, I have the most popular column in the Vegas newspaper, and liberals keep sending me notes, and the notes all say the same thing. Nah. Your guy's a loser. He's at 35%. He's the most unpopular president in history. That's all they say. They all read from the same Obama teleprompter. The same lie, fake news that you'd hear if Obama was reading off a teleprompter. And so it's not true. Rasmussen was the only poll of the 2016 election that got it right. Every single day they got it right. Trump was either tied, down one, or up one. And that's how the election ended. Rasmussen was right. So now, all the same polls that said he would lose by double digits, Trump, and got it wrong, those same polls show he's at 35% approval. Guess what Rasmussen shows? 50% approval.
Exactly.
So Trump's doing just fine. And among the groups that matter, ask me who matters, how about small business? The Small Business Optimism Index is up the most in 40 years. How about the Manufacturers Index? Those are the people that create all the high-paying jobs in America, and it's at 93%, the highest in history.
Okay, so Wayne talks fast and he says a lot of things. Now, the problem with Wayne is that he's so far up Trump's ass, it's unbelievable. And he's going to get to a story where he touts himself very quickly. And you got to listen to the story because it's literally like Donald Trump has his hand up the guy's shirt and he's like, oh, talk for me. So what Wayne is saying is that the polls were since all the polls are wrong and Rasmussen was right, Rasmussen is now the only poll you can trust ever, forever, and ever. When we all know that that's total and complete bullshit. That the polls were wrong because there were a lot of people that didn't show up and there were a lot of things they didn't account for. And they probably didn't ask the right questions. Now, Rasmussen got it kind of right in the fact that he lost by popular vote by more than a point, but whatever. But now saying all the other polls are right. But what he's saying is that it doesn't matter what the polls say because the people that matter, and the only people opinion that matter are people that create jobs in this country. They're the only people that opinions that matter. Small businesses, big corporations who create shitty jobs. They're the only opinions that matter. And everybody else, well, listen to what Wayne has to say about that.
So I don't know what people want from the guy. It is a divided nation. All the makers are on one side. They all support Trump. All the takers who don't pay anything into the system and want everything free and welfare checks and food stamp checks and free health care and free Obama phones, all of them are on the other side. They hate Trump. So it is 50-50, but Trump would win a re-election right now, number one. And number two, isn't it significant to note that the people who are important to America, who create all the jobs and pay all the taxes, are all for Trump, and the people who are not important to America, who only suck off the system and take out, are all against Trump.
Okay, so there you go, right? The makers and takers. We're back to that now, okay? That's the new one. So the makers. Now, by the way, it isn't 50% people that create jobs and 50% people that have jobs. It's literally not that way. And the other thing, too, is yes, there are people who create jobs. But you know what? Those people would be fucking nothing if they didn't have workers, and those people work. And the problem that I have with Wayne Allen Root, besides the fact that he's just a clear douche, is that he's saying that if you work for somebody, you're not as important because you're a taker. You're a taker. I pay taxes, bitch. I fucking pay taxes. I probably paid a higher percentage of taxes than you. You pay definitely more money. I paid a higher percentage. I live in the middle of New York City. Between city, state, and federal taxes, I paid 30% in income tax last year. I don't take. I pay into a system that I expect shit out of. Because let me tell you something, folks. Right now, as a white guy living in the middle of the city who has no kids and who isn't married, yes, that you may think I'm a loser. But I love my life. It's fantastic. But what I'm saying is that I take the MTA. That's not free. I pay for that. Okay? I don't own a car. I don't drive on roads. I think I've called the police once. Now, I understand those things are a part of it, but I don't have any kids in school. I'm literally getting nothing for my tax dollars for me. But I'm okay doing that because that's what taxes are, dick. And everybody pays into it. Employers and employees pay their taxes. And let me fucking tell you something else, Wayne, and I apologize for the amount of cursing, but this guy gets me so agitated, is that, let me tell you something, jerk. I probably paid more taxes percentage-wise than the owner of my restaurant. Do you know how infuriating that is? And he goes up to his house up in Maine every fucking weekend, and I gotta fucking work at his restaurant serving idiots. When you talk about takers, you're talking about a very small portion of the country. Very small. And let me tell you something else, Wayne. If you really want to have this argument, let's meet on the street, okay? I'll get all the people that work. I'll get all the people that get a paycheck every week. And we'll meet all the people who created all the jobs. That fucking fight would last 3 seconds, you dick.
Well, I made that prediction to Donald himself. It was October 30th. It was a week before the election, and Donald had a rally in Vegas, and I was the opening speaker again, as always. And after I got done speaking, I went backstage, and Donald was backstage taking photos. And the next person went up and started speaking, and Donald had, like 10 minutes before he was going to go out. So he's in the back taking photos and talking to people, and he sees me, and he runs up to me. I'm very proud that, I could say things like this. Donald literally ran up to me and said, Wayne, what do you think? Give me your prediction.
Yeah.
And I said, here's my prediction, Donald. You're going to win by 10, which is a landslide in America nowadays, a landslide. But it's going to look like you won by 1 because they cheat 9. And Donald laughed and said, that's probably about right. Wow, that's funny. And that's exactly what happened, And he did win, by the way, by 1 or 2 or 3. He didn't lose by 1 or 2 because they cheated. Not only did they cheat a little, they cheated a lot. And millions of illegals voted. I'm sure that's where Donald got his comment that millions of illegals voted, because I've written about it so many times. Here in Nevada, they bring in buses from California filled with illegals who vote in both states. Do you understand how bad it is? This is just massive corruption on a massive scale. Total conspiracy.
So Arizona, you're calling out your own people, Wayne. Arizona's run by Republicans. You're saying that they are so incompetent that they can't understand that millions of people voted illegally? Or that more than yeah. When you're dealing with people like Wayne Allen Root, who perpetuate lies and spread them as if they are truth because they know that it helps them make money, they are the people that really are going to be the undoing of this country. People like him, people like Trump, they're the same person. I mean, you heard him. Trump literally ran up to me. There's no way Trump ran anywhere. Have you ever seen the man? He doesn't fucking run, okay? You don't get that body by running places. You know what I'm saying? So Trump doesn't run anywhere. That's the first thing. And second thing is that there is no way that millions and millions and millions of people voted illegally in this country. There is literally no way that happened, and not one Republican in Congress either noticed it or did something about it or wants to do something about it. If there were 4 million illegal votes in fucking Arizona, don't you think the Republicans would want an investigation? They love investigations. But that's the point. They know it's not true, but the idiots that listen to them are like, oh, man, I can't believe it. And yes, I'm doing a Southern accent. I don't care. Oh, man, I can't believe you hear all them legal Mexicans voted. We got to get them out of the country. Yeah, I can't take it anymore. That Mexicans are the worst people in the world. No, the worst people in the world are people like Wayne Allen Root. Finally today, Alex Jones. Alex Jones, if you don't know Alex Jones, just Google him. He's a nut bar. He's like, what's that dude on the Money Show that's crazy? He's like that guy, but worse, okay? And he's in the middle of a custody battle where a lot of crazy crap has come out. Like, this guy is batshit loony pants, okay? And his lawyer said, to try and get him his kids, that it's all an act. It's all an act. And Alex Jones, he kind of took, he took a little bit of they didn't like that too much. And this is this crazy nutbag driving a car, okay? Now, he's not filming it. Somebody's sitting in the passenger seat. Somebody had to sit through this and is taking it. And this is Alex Jones. Here you go, Alex Jones.
I am an actor. We're all actors, but I believe in what I stand for. I'm not an actor as my main identity, but I'm a talented person. And I, with my small children, would play like I was a goblin or a pirate or a superhero. And I would chase them around the house, like a grandpa plays with their kid in the yard. We all do that. You ever, with your wife or whatever, had role play? You're an actor. Does that mean you're not a real person? It's the war on knowledge, the war on intellect, the war on, like people say, oh my God, people, I've had famous liberals come to my house and they see oil paintings I've done or
Let me just stop there for a second, and then we're going to continue because I want you to hear his sort of stream of consciousness craziness. Is the fact that Alex Jones is talking about the war on knowledge as being something that liberals are doing is exactly the classic Republican attack from a point of weakness, right? It's what they do. It's what they do. So Democrats are actually not for you. Democrats are the people who are against knowledge, when every single day you can watch Republicans literally taking knowledge off the tree and just throwing it on the ground and burning it.
they'll pick up a piece of paper with some poetry I've written on it, and they go, "Oh my God, it's all fake. You're not a right-wing extremist." And I go, "I was never a right-wing extremist. I'm a thinker. I'm an open person. I am who I am. I do have a Texas accent. I am from Texas. People think you're dumb if you're from Texas.
That is true.
It's ridiculous. And I'm not talking about myself, but because they have to attack who I am everywhere. And they have to misrepresent who I am and what I stand for and take everything out of context to say, like facing the crowd, like he does at the end of the movie, where he goes, I don't like any of you. I'm not really real, all this stuff. Well, that's not who I am. I am completely real, and everybody knows it. But the media is so deceptive, they'll take that clip where I said, I'm not really real, whatever, and then say I said I wasn't real. And I literally had a guy on the street yesterday prancing up to me, going, I used to be a listener, oh my God. And he was real Nelly. And he goes, you're fake now. I'm like, I don't like you now. That person was never a real listener. I have liberals come over and boo at me at dinner tables with my family sometimes. And, we'll like knock a glass over. Usually not with my family. They'll do it when I'm with friends or something, not when I'm with kids. They at least have that DC. But it's happened once. It's happened many other times. They'll knock over a glass, or they'll go, boo, boo, boo. Like I'm in third grade and go, oh, you said boo to me.
Okay, let me say this, too. I wait tables in New York City and have for about 20 years, okay? Give or take. And I've waited on politicians, some good, some bad. I was once in a Yankee suite with a very famous Republican senator, and nobody who is kind of a douche. Okay, I'm not going to tell you who, but I'm just going to tell you that I was in with this person, and nobody there, and this is New York City, nobody there booed, hissed, did anything. It's never happened at any restaurant I've worked at. I don't know where you go to dinner, but I can't imagine where you live, Alex Jones. A lot of people are against what you are.
I'm going to go in the corner and put my dunce hat on. But see, that's what it's all about. So I had a guy walk over to me and prancing. And they're prancing online going, finally, you admit it's all fake, none of it's real. Yeah, Brexit's fake. Taking down the New World Order's fake. Getting all the gun laws repealed, that's not happening. No, it's happening. Getting a good Supreme Court justice appointed, that's not happening. Everything we want is starting to happen. Globalism is in crisis. World government is now admitted to be real. Our audience exposed it. They took action, and that's what the globalists are really attacking, is our audience, to try to demoralize them.
Okay, world government is not real. I mean, if you want to say that, like, either, that the UN or NATO or something like that is a world government, I mean, then yes, I guess it is real. But there's no world government. It doesn't work that way. You think it's real because you and the crazy batshit, crazy pants, loony minions all get together and decide that it's real because it helps push along your agenda. See, you can always find somebody by what they do and what they sell. This guy is a conspiracy theorist. He makes money by making up conspiracies that are crazy. His listeners all believe his conspiracies. If he stops believing these conspiracies, then he starts losing money and advertisers, and he loses people listening. And he's not going to do that. So the only way to keep going is to get bigger and bigger and bigger. There are no gun laws being taken away. In fact, you gained gun laws under Obama. There are nothing taken away. You think they're going away under Trump? That's not happening. So Alex Jones is real. He's a real guy. He's an artist. He's a kind person. He's just a crazy lunatic who believes crazy shit.
These are the followers following a fake corporate cosmology. And here we come blowing it apart with total paradigm shift of just hardcore bona fide reality.
No, you haven't.
Total commitment to the truth.
Let's be fair, folks. His listeners represent maybe 5% of the country. Maybe. And that might be nice about it. So paradigm shift. There's no paradigm shift. You think Trump is a paradigm shift? He's the same as everybody else. You're the friggin' idiot who believed it. You believed that he was going to be a paradigm shift when everybody who is an actual realist and who actually looks at the world through realist eyes knew that he was going to be no different in the end. Yes, he was going to say dumb shit, and he was going to try he was going to try pushing it more to the right, more and more. But he was going to, in the end, be the same exact person that everybody else who says they're going to be different gets it when they get in there does. Obama did the same thing. George W. Bush did the same thing. Now, they may have done different things, but they all had lobbyists, and they all had people from banks, and they all said they were going to, drain the swamp, and nobody does. Nobody does, because whenever anybody takes the job, they all become the same person. And so you got bamboozled, buddy. You got hornswoggled. You got run amok because you believe that Donald goddamn motherfucking Trump was going to be a paradigm shift, and you lost.
Full spectrum resistance. Through art, literature, serious news reported, punditry, satire, comedy. I mean, and they just don't know what to do. So they start screaming, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. All right, Infowars.com/show. I am out of time. Pray for us. The globalists are absolutely trying to bring us down, trying to take us down right now because we're breaking through. There's a paradigm shift, and they're collapsing. The fake horror media knows it, so they're going to spew every vile lie they've got as they fire everything they've got. I keep missing the turn. As they fire everything they've got in abject, total, and complete panic. Abject, complete, total panic because they don't know what they're doing. They're lost just like I'm driving around in circles trying to find the right turn here. And it's just so crazy.
Yes, you are, in fact, so crazy. And that's Alex Jones, if you've never heard Alex Jones before. And that's what he does. It's just stream of consciousness. Just whatever comes next is the next big thing. And we can do it too, guys. It's okay. We can do it too. Trust me. We are a very creative bunch. Okay? We can do conspiracy theories as well. We don't, because we like to deal in fact and truth and not conspiracy. I don't make things up based off the things I read on the internet. I watched 9/11 happen right in front of me. I know it happened the way it happened because I fucking watched it. I didn't watch it on TV. I didn't watch it, in some place in the middle of the country. I watched it about 40 blocks north from my roof. I know these things are real. I've seen the moon landing video. It's real. Do you see what I'm getting at? There is no global government. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Now you can say, oh, Matt, how do you know it doesn't? Okay, yes, I don't know that it doesn't exist, but I'll say this, okay? I think there are enough good, smart people in the world that if it did exist, they would be the first people to uncover it, all right? There's enough good reporters in the world that they would uncover it. And if the sort of moronic minions of Alex Jones can uncover it, and the great people at Vice or The Intercept or wherever don't uncover it, then you know what? I'll eat my hat. Okay, that crow will be delicious. All right? I'll give you that. But I can tell you with absolute certainty that 95% of the things that come out of the mouths of every person I played for you today is in fact a lie or some way for them to scare you into thinking that something is being taken away from you when in fact nothing is. Oh, that's not true. Things are being taken away from you, but they're being taken away by Republicans, so it's okay that they're being taken away from you. And there it is. There it is. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Batshit Crazy Pants Super Show. We will be on every Friday night. Usually 7. We were early today, but usually 7 o'clock every Friday night. Again, Monday, you can hit us up on You're Wrong. That'll be at 7. Tuesday, you can hit us up on Pessimistic Politics. That'll be at 7. And, of course, Wednesday will be Sports. That's the football-baseball show. I'm going to rant for a couple minutes about the Giants' opening day schedule for the same every year of my life. And then, of course, Also, the musical show. If you like musical theater, I'm a very strange person. I get it. I understand. I know. Okay. If you like that, every Sunday night at 7, we'll be having a show this Sunday as well. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow me on the Twitter at the Matt Show 365. You can also do the same on Facebook. It's very much fun. Who doesn't love Facebook? Anyway, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe, drink well, and don't bother me at work. And as always, Clint takes us out.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.